welcome to my channel. Make sure to hit the like button if you enjoy and subscribe. And you know what comes next. United States of Smash the bell icon to be notified when I post a new video. So yeah, make sure you're all comfy, you got your headphones on, and let's let the intro take it away. Go on ahead, intro. Thank you very much, intro. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to What If Deku Stayed Quirkless, Part 1. So, I just made a video telling you guys why I've been gone, so I would recommend going over and checking that out. And, yeah, again, I'm sorry for being gone so long. This is my great return. I guess you could call it that. So, I'm sorry if, the audio's a little weird sounding. It's because I'm outside. And if you hear the kids screaming over there, they're jumping and running around right when I'm trying to record too. So, I'm sorry if you hear the wind or you hear those kids. Don't worry, they are not in my basement. Yet. Alright, so I'm not going to keep this intro very long. Let's get right into it, shall we? So, in this continuity, everything stays the same up until the second sludge villain attack. Deku would still go and try and save Bakugo, but this is where things change. So, Deku would be walking home, and he would see Bakugo walking, and he would start running to Bakugo, but then he'd see this old man at the end of the road. Deku would kind of get creeped out and would decide to hide and see how the confrontation is going to go. Knowing Bakugo, he's not going to be very happy about this man blocking the road. So, this is how I feel that conversation would go. So, Bakugo would walk up to the old man, and he would tell the old man to get out of the road. He's walking. And then the old man would say, "Young Bakugo, that is not how you talk to someone who saved your life." As Bakugo would go, "What? What are you talking about?" As the old man would say, "I just saved your life. Have you already forgotten?" As Bakugo would be like, "You're no All Might. If anything, you're just some weak, frail old man. So get out of the road. I have places to be." As Bakugo would start lighting off explosions in his hands. As All Might would say, "What if I could give you my quirk?" And then Bakugo would basically be in shock as he's like, "I don't even know you. So what would I want with your weak, pathetic quirk? I already have the strongest quirk around." As the old man would say, "Or do you?" As Bakugo would be like, "What are you talking about?" And then All Might, or the old man, would buff up and show Bakugo who he really was. Bakugo would have no words. He would be in shock. And then All Might would say it again. "What if I could give you my quirk, young Bakugo?" Sorry if you hear my dog barking. He's chasing the other dog around the fence. So yeah. And Bakugo would just be sitting there with his mouth wide open. He would have no words. And then All Might would ask it again. "What if I could give you my quirk?" And then Bakugo would say, it would be an honor to take it. And Deku would be sitting back there watching this go on, and he'd just want to cry. Bakugo, after all these years of tormenting him, is getting rewarded with All Might's quirk? Bakugo has just been a big bully, and then Deku saves him. Or at least tries to, and then he's the one being rewarded? How? How does this happen? He'd be wondering. And then Bakugo would ask why he's come to him with this offer. And All Might would tell him the story of, all for one and one for all. And he would tell him why he decided to pick him. And he would say, "Young Bakugo, you have showed such braveness in this time of need. You braved through being held hostage, and you were able to wait until I arrived. You have amazing friends, and I would like you to be my successor, as you not only have a strong quirk, you have a great willpower. So please, accept my deal." Deku would start to cry as he tried to save Bakugo, and Bakugo only just kept on talking him down while he was trying to save him. And after all this time, he's only been tormented by Bakugo. And now, Bakugo, of all people, is getting All Might's quirk. He has no words for the disappointment and anger he is feeling. He just wants to run around that corner and punch Bakugo, but he knows he has no power to do it. So he just look on as All Might would pluck a piece of his hair and tell Bakugo to eat it. Bakugo would just be in pure disgust. He'd be like, okay, I'm starting to rethink my offer. I don't want to do this. If I have to eat your hair, why would I do that? Can't I just, touch your blood? Can't we just connect bloods or something? We have to do it by hair ingesting? That's disgusting. And All Might would be like, I mean, this is the way we've done it for generations. It's not like it's just gonna change mid-battle. And Bakugo would be like, alright, fine, whatever. And would eat the hair. And the reason why Bakugo doesn't have to do that long training to get the DNA is because Bakugo had been training his quirk all the way up until middle school. He had been training a lot. So, he doesn't have to go through that long training in order to get the quirk. Because his body was already at least halfway ready, He's still going to damage himself using the quirk, but it's not going to be nearly as bad as compared to Deku's. Because his body was at least halfway matured when it comes down to accepting All Might's quirk. So, Deku would start walking home just mad. He'd be angry, sad. He just wanted to kill Bakugo, as it had been his dream to walk aside All Might, and now the person who had tormented him for all these years is the one getting rewarded. The person who's acted like a villain for a majority of his years is the one getting the #1 hero's quirk. He can't believe it. He just can't believe it. So, Deku would be walking home, and he would decide to take another shortcut, as he just really needed to sit down and contemplate it, but he didn't want to sit down on the streets and think about it. He just wanted to get home. So, he would decide to take another shortcut. And he would see this weird-looking man strangling what looked to be a hero. Deku would be in shock, as he would just think to himself, Today just must be the worst day of my life. Bakugo gets the #1 hero's quirks right in front of me. I get jumped by a villain, and now I'm about to probably die, as this time I'm not going to have All Might to save me. And then the villain would see Deku. And the villain would quickly stab the villain in the throat, killing him immediately. He'd throw his body down, and he'd start walking towards Deku. Deku would put his hands up and say, "Today has been the worst day of my life. I'm not going down without a fight." And the villain would walk up to him and say, "You have guts, kid. You have guts." As the man would introduce himself as Stain, the hero killer. Deku had read about Stain in a lot of books, and to say the least, he was impressed with how he could kill so many heroes at once. But he knew Stain was a villain, and would still prepare to fight him. And Stain would say, "The heroes have wronged you, haven't they?" As Deku would think about what he just said. The heroes have wronged him. Deku would put his hands down and would let his guard down as he thinks about how that affects him. As yes, the heroes have wronged him. All Might, his hero, has wronged him. Stain would put his arm on Deku and say, "Don't worry. I'm trying to hunt down the heroes that have wronged society. I'm trying to hunt down the greedy and not good heroes. I'm trying to hunt down the heroes that don't have good intentions. The heroes that use their power for bad. For evil." And he would decide to take Deku under his wing. And for the next 3 years, so if Deku's around 15, so not 3, I'm going to say 2. No. Okay, give me a second. I'm trying to get, the story down. So, if Deku is 14 right now, then 3 years should be a good training time. So, for the next 3 years, Deku will be undergoing rigorous training. And I mean, this training that Stain is going to have him go through is at least 10 times as hard as the training that Deku undergoed at the beach, where he had to clean up the beach, and the forest training arc combined. It's harder than both of those combined. And in this training, Stain will be teaching him how to use swords, guns, and all types of different martial arts and weapons. And he'll also be teaching Deku how to be a killing machine. So, now we're going to skip about 3 years ahead. So, Stain would tell Deku that this is his last assignment. And he would take Deku out to this alleyway, and a hero would walk up to him. So then the hero would ask Stain, "Alright, do you got the good stuff? Don't worry, no one will hear a thing about this." And then Stain would tell Deku that this is his final assignment. Now, Stain would ask the hero to draw a little bit of blood for him, so he knows that this isn't a clone. The hero really wouldn't think anything of it, and would draw some blood. And then Stain would grab the hero's hand and lick the blood off of his finger. The hero would be creeped out and would try and run away, but his body was frozen. He couldn't move. And then Stain would pull out his swords and chop off both of the hero's legs. The hero would cry out in pain But he would notice that he can't even scream. All he can do is just sit and watch. And as he'd be sitting there, Stain would tell Deku to kill him. Then Deku would be caught off guard, and he would ask Stain, "Why are we doing this?" And then Stain would say, "Because they are impure. They are trying to harm others, and they get away with it with their power and popularity." And Stain would tell Deku again to kill him. Kill off the sins of the past. Show the heroes that you're no one to be messed with. And Deku would just be sitting there thinking about what he should do. And the hero would regain his ability to speak and would say, "Please, don't kill me. I have a family. Don't kill me." And Stain would yell at Deku to hurry up and kill him before their time runs out. Deku would just be sitting there not knowing what to do, as he never knew that he was going to be forced to kill people. He never wanted to do that. He just wanted to prove to the world that he could be a hero. But this isn't what heroes do. And then Stain would yell and scream at Deku to kill him. Kill him. As the hero is slowly regaining his ability to move. And after at least 10 minutes of Deku sitting there staring at the man, Stain would have enough and would decapitate the hero. Stain would be very upset at Deku for not being able to go through with the mission, and would prepare to whip Deku when Deku would grab the whip midair and kick at Stain's knee, breaking his knee. Stain would stumble back as he would say, "What are you doing? I took you under. I gave you a house to live under. I showed you that you could be something. But now you're turning on the only person who has given you hope, given you the ability to fight back." As Deku would realize that neither side is to be trusted. Not heroes nor villains should be trusted. And his decision was to remove both from the equation. Quirks shouldn't exist. It only drives the human race to existence. It only drives the human race to fight. Quirks need to be removed from the equation, as they're just a disease. They're only going to make the human race fight more and more until eventually the human race is driven to extinction. So now Deku knows what he must do. As he would say to Stain, "Thanks for the advice. I'll end your suffering." As Stain would try and fight back, it'd be too late. Deku would decapitate Stain then and there, before Stain could even try and draw out some blood from Deku. Deku would start walking away from the scene of the crime when a cop would walk up to Deku. And he'd ask Deku why he has blood on his shirt, and would prepare to draw his weapon when Deku would cleaver off his leg. The officer would fall backwards, but it'd be too late for him. Deku would plunge his sword straight through the officer's chest, and then put a bullet straight in the middle of his forehead. Deku would tell the officer that he should have never patrolled on this area, as you never know what will happen. So Deku would then start walking towards UA High. knowing he needed to get his revenge sooner or later. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is where I'm going to end this episode off. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure you smash the like button and subscribe. And while you're at it, United States of smash the bell icon to be notified when I post a new video. So yeah, I will see you all in the next video. Peace out.